now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Dealer Deep Dive Podcast, powered by Coverage Corp Dealer Solutions.
I'm not telling you to listen to anyone, but this is a very fresh approach.
Our mission is to motivate, educate, inspire, and give you the tools you need to succeed in the automotive industry.
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
It's time to get to work. And now, your host, Andrew Lemoyne.
What is going on? Welcome to the Dealer Deep Dive Podcast, where it's our mission to educate, inspire, and motivate anyone in or around the automotive industry. I'm your host, Andrew Lemoyne. I'm joined by my co-host, Jason, the Chef Gru. What's going on, Jay?
What's happening, Andrew? What's going on today, my friend?
Dude, we're jacked up to be here.
We're making deals, eh?
We're making things happen. We're trying anyways, guys, and we'd love to have a conversation with some of you out there and see how it's working for you guys. So look, purpose of this podcast is we want to connect with the automotive industry, the community, and a lot of great minds, a lot of exciting things happening right now in this industry. We are very excited to be a part of it and do our little part, and looking forward to connecting with a lot of you out there, having you on the show in future episodes, and talking about some really, really interesting things. We're going to skip the whole intro thing for episode 1. I thought that we would just get into a topic and jam a bit on it that I seem to see everywhere, and that is really the topic of where and how to find good salespeople.
It's near impossible.
I think that it's safe to say this is it's a universal issue. It's a universal problem. And, every single dealership is always looking for great salespeople, right? And where do you find them? How do you find them? So we're going to share some tips, what's worked for us, what's working for us. We've been through it. I was a dealer running those ads, looking for great, motivated salespeople. Apply today. If you're ready. And the truth is, you got to ask yourself, are you ready? Right? When you're asking people, are they ready? So we'll get into that. So look, guys, you could find us on every platform, iTunes, Spotify. Where else, D? Where are we? We're everywhere, eh? We're omni. So all the channels, subscribe, show us some love, okay? We want to keep these. Well, we're going to keep these coming. We need, we need you guys to connect with us. So, look, where do you find good salespeople, okay? And how do you find them? So, look, I think you got to ask yourselves a couple questions, okay? Why are you looking for good salespeople in the first place? Okay, so if you're looking for salespeople, that means that you probably don't have any or you don't have enough of them, right? And you got to ask yourself, why, right? Why are you looking for salespeople to begin with?
Constantly.
Right. And, are you looking for good salespeople? What's the reason and the intent? And here's where I'm going with this is when I see dealers that say, we're looking for, experienced, great salespeople. What I hear is we're too lazy to train. So we want somebody that can come on and just kind of onboard themselves and get going, on their own. That's what I hear when I see, we're looking for experienced, automotive, salespeople. Apply within. I say, well, that dealership probably doesn't have an in-house, training program.
And those people already probably have jobs, right?
Well,
you're not going to find those experienced people if they're happy, right?
No.
It's
the people
tough.
you really want, they're gainfully employed, and they're quite happy.
That's right.
So
you got to pivot.
You got it, man. And look, the $1 million question is, so where do you find good salespeople, right? And here's the answer, folks. I'm going to share it with you today. You can't. You cannot find good salespeople. You must create them.
And train.
That's it. See, you got to ask yourself, look, are you cultivating a culture that creates champions? I'm going to say that again. Are you cultivating a culture that creates champions? CCCC. We got to trademark that.
What does that mean?
Hey?
It sounds great, actually. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that one down. The CCC.
Yeah. And are you guys actually focused on creating, or are you really just trying to focus on finding? And I think that is the universal problem I see in this industry, is everybody's focused on finding good salespeople and no one's really trying to create them. and you guys got to shift the mindset and the approach. Okay, you guys got to really start focusing on creating.
And what I'm going to say is that Andrew, what I think is it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's going to be a daily thing on when you talk about creation and how to do that. That's vision, right? It's going to have to come from the top, right? It has to come from the leader.
Absolutely.
And it has to create that vision, and it's a daily thing. It's not a one thing. Like we talked about training. Training is not something that we did. It's something that we do.
That's right.
And you need to train them every day, and you got to be in tune with what's happening around you, right? So I think that it's about painting a vision.
100%. You know, and I think of what we've kind of gone through here at our company, at Coverage Corp, is, you know, I had the wrong mindset as well. I jumped out of the dealer world and, jumped into the vendor and technology world and founded this company. And, you know, I was taking my bad practices from the auto industry, and I carried them with me into entrepreneurship and tried to go out and find great salespeople. And, you know, for a lot of the team that's been with me since day one, they saw a lot of people come and go because, again, I had the wrong approach. So I was going out into the industry and I was trying to, like all of you, find good salespeople. Okay. And when I would find these good salespeople, quote unquote, good salespeople, right? More times than not, they didn't work out.
Well, they sold you.
Right.
Because they're good salespeople,
well,
right?
Maybe I sold myself. I think I sold them more than they sold me.
Okay.
And the problem was more times than not, they didn't work out. And where we started seeing, Jason, here is when we really saw a shift and a pivot in our own company and success is when we put the focus, instead of on finding, we put the focus on creating. Mm-hmm. And then what it allowed us to do is it allowed us to go out into the marketplace, out into various industries, bring on people without automotive sales experience, but then immerse them into a culture of training.
For sure.
And a culture that's obsessed with helping people get to the next level, focus on skills, and just focusing constantly every day on leveling up. And what we've done is we've created some amazing, really top performing salespeople that I'm really proud to say that are, you know, right beside us in the next room right now, selling their hearts out, doing a great job at it. And these are people that 6, 8, 12 months ago never sold a thing.
They never sold. So you took them out of what they were doing,
yeah,
essentially, and gave them a chance, right? But we got to break it down. We got to get granular on this. What exactly did you do to make them great? Because you're taking people, and I think you don't need to sell to be in a sales position to be a great salesperson,
right?
Because we sell every day,
yeah,
right. And I think we have to open our eyes and take the blinders off because you bring them in. And you work with them every day. So what are the things that you think that you're doing to ensure their success? Like what's the training look like when we talk about training?
Right.
I talked about vision. What are we talking about when we have to paint vision? What does that entail? So we can get specific for our listeners. It's about talking about our goals and what we want to do and where we're going and how to do it. And it's also not waiting 3 months to sit down with your sales guy and to say, hey, this didn't work out. I see you out there every day, Andrew, talking to the sales guys every single day, and you're coaching them and training them every day.
Well, we got to, right? And I think consistency is key. In the dealer world, there's a lot of sink or swim going on. So again, it's hiring people, it's onboarding them, and then it's kind of like sink or swim, best of luck. And you got to ask yourself this. So your dealership, right? You want to attract great people. And I'm not saying that you're never going to get a really great salesperson that, comes along. But what I'm saying is I think we can all agree that that's definitely, the exception, not the rule. Okay, where a really great salesperson shows up at your doorstep and, great fit, super experienced, turnkey. That's the exception, man. Does it happen? Sure. When it does,
Barely.
celebrate, but
Barely.
It doesn't happen a lot. You definitely can't run a business and grow a business around planning for that to happen.
And you got to ask yourself a question. If that does happen, why does that person not have a job? Right? Why are they showing up at your dealership?
Well, yeah, and you know what? There's various reasons. Sometimes people are just looking for a change. Again, it has worked out for me where I've been able to connect and meet with some great salespeople from other dealerships, and but that's rare. That's few and far between. Doesn't happen too often, right? So what I'm saying is, what I want you to ask yourself right now, whoever's listening, is why what makes your dealership special? Like if you want great salespeople
To be attracted.
right, to come to your dealership, what are you doing to attract those kind of people to your store? Right? How do you do that?
What makes your store stand out to the great salesperson?
100%. 100%. Because I can tell you something right now, guys. We have people moving cities, provinces.
That's correct.
To come join our team.
Yeah.
And, you got to ask yourself,
How come?
why? Right? So for us, I mean, again, what we can always do is we can just share our own experiences with you guys. What's really working for us is we leverage social media. So, we've created a presence and a little bit of a brand, and we're going to do a much better job and grow it this year, predominantly on LinkedIn, I would say. We've been able to connect with a lot of salespeople and a lot of really, really great people.
And I think it's about you're saying it's going to be about the energy.
100%.
What's the energy? So when that person walks into your dealership and you're having an interview, are you late to the interview? How are you speaking to this individual? And when they sit down with you, do you get them excited about what they're going to jump into, or is it a regular old interview?
Right.
Tell me about yourself. What are you doing? What have you done? It's not about that. It's about
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
right?
Yeah.
And that's not what you need to do. And I've had a lot of success with recruitment. And I've had a lot of success with painting a vision, and it's about that energy that if I didn't believe in what I was selling to this person that's in front of me,
100%,
then it's not going to work.
Couldn't agree
right?
more. Yeah.
And you have to take that time. If you can't do it, then somebody on your team, your sales manager has to sit down with these people that are coming in and make your store stand out. And let them know that there's this massive opportunity sitting here because you're able to coach and guide them with the energy that you have and bring them to the next level, and not fear that they maybe become better than you. I want them to be better than me, Andrew.
Yeah.
I want these people to become better than me at what they do.
Well, look, there's stats out there that suggest, that, staff turnover, when you lose a good salesperson, that it could cost the company upwards of 3 times that person's yearly
That's correct. Salary,
right?
right.
Their annual earnings, right?
Yes.
Times 3.
That's nuts.
So it's insanity. When you actually sit down and look at what it cost your dealership to have this constant high turnover of people, it's very, very high, okay? And what I'm saying is what dealers really need to do is they need to start putting a focus on creation, of creation. Because I'll tell you what's going to happen is when you bring in people from the bottom and you mentor them and you train them and you guide them and you bring them up, not only are you going to have a team of really great people, you're going to have a team of very loyal people. And that is very, very important, because when you actually brought somebody from nothing and, help them become an automotive sales professional and truly change their life, because you can take somebody that was making minimum wage or close to minimum wage, bring them into your dealership, train them, show them how to properly become an automotive sales professional, how to properly sell vehicles, how to properly develop a network of clients and really build their own little book of business. When you do that, I've done this dozens and dozens of times. I've taken people that their best year before they join the dealership is, what'd you make last year? I made $32,000. And then the guy jumps on in his first year, he made 85. Year 2, he's making over 100. You've just changed that person and his family's life.
You've given them the formula to be successful.
That's it. So what happens is you end up getting a very, very loyal team, because if you're loyal to your people are going to be very loyal to you. So that's why I've always loved, when I have the option of creating salespeople opposed to just finding them. It actually, in the long run, if we're talking marathon here, not a sprint, it actually works out a lot better. And I've done it both. So I've messed up. I've just been trying to look for these, quote unquote killers. Okay. And again, it works out sometimes. Okay. It really does. But more times than not, it doesn't. It's when I focus on the creation, is like, you know what? I heard something many, many years ago, and it's, I believe in it immensely. Okay. And that's the quote that says, hire the attitude, train the skill.
100%.
Because everybody's focused right now on trying to hire the skill. Everyone's trying
with
to
a bad attitude.
Yeah,
right.
With a bad attitude
that thinks they know everything, or they're not willing to adapt to something that you may know that they don't.
100%.
So it doesn't work. But I'm hearing something, and it keeps coming up. But what I'm hearing is that, and there's a few things we could talk about after that. Is that maybe the dealers and the managers need to take a look around. Maybe the great salespeople are right in the dealership right now. That's what we're saying, right? They're there. Right, but
sometimes
but it becomes difficult because it's not easy to coach and get greatness out of people. It's it's tough, right? You're
Right.
busy. You ran a dealership, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to take energy from the leader that wants these great salespeople. You're going to have to have the hard conversations.
100%.
You're going to have to tell them when they're not doing something right.
Yeah.
And praise them when they're doing something wrong. But you have to give energy to these people instead of putting the blinder on and just have status quo, right? Does it not make sense? Like, the people might actually be there. Yes, you're going to have to bring on some younger people or people that have it or that are not experienced. But the people that are in your dealership that are selling for you right now, if they're not good, what the hell are you guys doing? Why are they there?
Right.
Right. If you're not going to take the time to put the effort in to make these guys great, that doesn't make sense. This is the dealership that you're at. Let's take the time. Let's have the hard conversation. Let's look at the people that are doing really well, and let's have a mentorship kind of program within the dealership so we can get these people at the level you want.
Totally. And look, to Jason's point, sometimes you've got the right people inside the dealership in the wrong places. So some of the best salespeople that I've ever, trained and brought up and developed actually came from the wash bay. Okay, these were young, hungry lot attendants that wanted a shot at selling cars. And, to this day, I could think of two of the best salespeople that I ever kind of mentored, brought up, and developed. And both those guys came from the wash bay. You might have an absolute, rock star, working in the service department or working in the parts department, and you gotta kind of shake the bushes and again, you gotta really search for that attitude and just look at the person. And then to Jason's point, you have to look in the mirror and look at your current team and figure out, okay, so here's what my current team looks like. I'm really looking for, people that are greater, but maybe some of those people that are already on your team right now have greatness in them. And they just need somebody like you to light a fire inside of them. And you might have a team of champions sitting right in front of you. Okay, you're just not doing the right, coaching and mentoring right now. And the great news is, guys and girls, that can change very quickly. All you need to do is make a decision.
Light the fire within yourself, right? That's what it is. Pull out the pocket mirror and take a peek.
That's right.
Right? Because I have energy inside me every day. I got energy right now. I'm feeling great. And I think that's what attracts great people.
100%.
Right? And the people around you want to do great things because you're constantly flowing like that. And you're not going to be perfect. But my question to you, Andrew, is you ran many dealerships very successfully. What did you do in your store to continuously level up the people and make them greater? Like, what do you do?
So I think it boils down to consistency. Right. So, again, something we do here is just like, it's daily huddles. It's not, it's not these demotivating, demoralizing, save a deal meetings. It's not, dealers have these kind of Saturday morning meetings where they'll shit on the whole team, which is ridiculous because you're going to bring in your team of salespeople on what's supposed to be the busiest sales day of the week, and you're going to start the day off very negative.
And are they sitting or are they standing?
They're sitting.
They're sitting.
Yeah, and they're getting yelled at.
Come on, what are we doing?
So a lot of little tweaks, but I think that it comes down to consistent coaching. I think that it's just about creating a team, guys, and having a team where communication is not an issue, where everybody's very open, where management, whether you've got shifts, whether you're in a big store and you've got 3 or 4 different sales managers with their own teams, whether you've got a smaller store where it's just one guy, or maybe you've got a GSM who's got 5 sales managers underneath him or her. It doesn't matter what the setup looks like. What matters is that the sales managers in the store have taken on more of a coaching in a leader role.
100%.
And I'd love to see those titles really shift from sales managers to team leaders, because that's what I believe they need to be.
You need to be a leader.
That's a whole other episode. We can talk about that another time.
100%.
But how I think the setup really works well within the dealerships, right?
And I'll tell you, for example, something that I've done is I've went out to the store with my own money and I've bought them books that have worked for me, books that are going to help them change the mindset, because it's a mindset.
Right.
Anybody can do anything.
Yeah.
But it's in your mind. It's what between the walls of your head that you think you can, or you think you can't. It's your choice of whatever you think.
And guys, what we're saying to you is look, it's a mindset right now that you have that you're looking for great salespeople. And I guess what we're trying to say, and the message we're trying to convey over this episode, is if you just shift your own mindset from looking to creating, you are going to see an unbelievable change happen almost immediately. You know, and to Jason's point, that's going to start with when you shift from looking to creating. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look right in front of you what you've already have, because you actually might have some great salespeople that are already on your team that just need the right approach.
Yes, how are you
and
talking
leadership.
to them? How are you talking to them?
And you could light that fire,
right?
And you can take that 6-car person that you're about to let go. You've had you've had 3 meetings. This guy or girl's got to go now. You know, they're a 6-car. Why are they only delivering 6 cars? Can that 6-car person be a 16-car a month person? The answer is yes. 100%. I've done it. Okay.
100%. And honestly, like one of the last points that I'll say here is that you know, attention is very short these days, right? We have our cell phones on us. There's so many things happening. So if people are losing the attention when they're in the dealership and they're not focused, right? As a leader, you got to see this happening. I see it out in the boiler room all the time, Andrew. You know, we start to have fun and we're allowed to have fun and we're allowed to have chats and we're allowed to do things that are exciting, but the leader's job is to harness that energy and refocus it in the right direction. And if somebody did not engage somebody, or, you know, you got to be on them. You can't be hidden away in your office. You got to be on the floor, and you have to be with those salespeople and coaching them
100%.
every day.
And I think it's funny because, you know, the power of culture, right? So we have a smaller company right now. We're still very much in, I would say, startup mode. Mm-hmm. So we don't have, you know, at Coverage Corp, we don't have the, you know, the resources and the image that a lot of these dealerships have, right? Like, guys, you've got so much resources and these beautiful facilities and these, you know, and the desks and the offices and everything at your fingertips that, you know, it should actually make it a lot easier to create that culture of champions. Okay. Look, people are able to do it in startups. People are able to do it working out of, you know, friggin' closets, and they're able to do it, right? Because the people are the difference. So look, shift your mindset from looking for salespeople to creating them, and wonderful things are going to happen. Guys, this is just the pilot, okay? Episode 1, pilot, whatever you want to call it. We're having fun, eh?
This is awesome.
I hope you guys are having fun.
I love it.
We want to connect with as many of you as possible.
Thank you.
We love you, eh?
Thank you. Yeah, no, we love you. You're the best man at my wedding.
So look, guys, you could find us on all social platforms under Coverage Corp. My name's Andrew Lemoine. You can find me on, you know, Instagram, Twitter, you know, Facebook, LinkedIn, always / I got sold, because I did get sold, you know, and I'll tell you one day what that really means to me. But guys, please subscribe, share. Let's connect. We're going to have weekly episodes. Actually, we're going to do it weekly.
Every week.
We started off,
we just committed to you, and now we have the accountability here.
We started off saying once a month, and then we had to look in the mirror.
That's weak.
And say, who are we? What are we trying to do?
100%.
No, we want to connect with a lot of people, eh? So the only way we do that is weekly, and maybe one day we'll do it daily. Who knows? Awesome. Guys, it's been fun, eh?
Thank you.
Until next time, let's jam.
Let's do it.
Dealer Deep Dive.